Let's see if my hair stays like this. It won't. No, it won't. Never mind. Never mind. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Since the camera's out, I'll make one more video. And what? Oh my God, what was it about? Oh Jesus. Wait a minute. It totally left me. Hold up. Oh, okay, I got it. Okay. If things keep happening to you, first of all, hey, it's me, Persephone. My third video today. I am forgetting to introduce myself. I am Persephone, and I make YouTube videos, and I make mistakes, and then I make YouTube videos about the mistakes I make, and then I have triumphs, and then I make YouTube videos about my triumphs, and you know, it just kind of goes back and forth like that. And I love Jesus, and I love giraffes, and I love diamond wrap. I am a DIYer to the bone. But anyway, you didn't come here for that. If you are living your life in cycles, the same cycle over
and over and over and over and over and over and over again,
you have to figure out what's wrong with you, because there's something wrong with you. And I believe that things can be delayed when you don't act accordingly to what the situation requires. And we always want to move to the next level, and we want to go to the next level and be more successful. But the thing is, if you don't learn certain lessons, just like school, if you don't learn the things you're supposed to learn in kindergarten, and they test you and they figure that, wait a minute, there's no comprehension going on here, they're not going to let you go to the first grade. Well, life is like that. If you want to be promoted at your job, you have to prove that you can be trusted to serve in that position. You have to trust that you know the job requirements, that whatever certifications you have to have throughout your career, that you get them. Any type of extra, voluntary training that you can take that in order to be more qualified for the job that you want. Nobody wants to stay entry level their entire life. Anybody that tells you whatever job they got when they left college, that they want to stay in that job or retire from that job, is lying. Unless they just happen to get a really fantastic job. But I'm talking entry-level pay, entry-level responsibilities, entry-level promotional opportunities. Nobody wants to stay at the ground floor. Everybody wants to go up. And life, other areas of life are just like that. But if you keep going in the same cycles over and over and over again, you will see that you are the common denominator. It's you. Not saying necessarily that you're bad or doing something bad. It just could be that you're not standing up for yourself, which I have been really, really, really good at that the majority of my life, but I'm getting better. It could be not sticking to your morals because of influences that you know aren't good. I mean, a lot of people get swept up in the crowd, and they get swept up in what everyone else is doing. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're an evil person just because you are the common denominator or you are the problem, but you are the problem. If the same thing keeps happening to you over and over and over again with different people, you're the problem. I discovered from everyone, from my mother to my ex-husband to other men that I have dated, to churches that I have been a member of and served in, to friendships that I have had, I did not fully protect myself. And I basically allowed myself to become a doormat. And then when I didn't nip things in the bud, of course, people think that it's okay and they continue to do it. You become more resentful, more internal, more closed in. You don't say anything because you want to keep the peace. But keeping the peace on the outside is causing chaos on the inside. And we don't realize that we're damaging ourselves when we do that. We are little by little cutting down our own souls when we do that. And it took for me to go through this horrible situation that I went through for me to realize that, hey, you're the problem. You're allowing this because you don't want no smoke. You don't want no problems. You just want to go through life and be peaceful and just, I'm a bit of a fairy. I'm a bit of a Disney character. I am extremely optimistic. I want to see the best in people. I want people to do well. And I will push you and encourage you to the point where I have nothing left for myself. And then I look around and am somewhat surprised that the people that I push aren't there to push me back and encourage me and fill me back up, because that's not how life works. Not if you're dealing with certain people. You have to be very careful who you allow into your life, who you allow into your circle, because keep this now, people are going to be who they're going to be. Doesn't matter how much you love them. It doesn't matter how much you try to help them. It doesn't matter how badly you want it for them. They have to want it for themselves. Potential. I wanted to say potential is nothingness, but that's going a little too far. But there's some times where I feel like potential means absolutely nothing. The prospect means absolutely nothing. You have to go by what is going on at that time. And yes, there are times where you do have to have like a projected expectation of what something would be. But you have to be really careful with that. You have to be really calculated with that. You cannot just sit up here and just put a hopeful label on everything. That's ridiculous. You can't do that to yourself. And I had to learn the hard way that potential means nothing. Promises mean nothing. If they're not backed up with behavior, if they're not backed up with a series of behaviors and a history of behaviors and different personality traits that should be there, like honesty, integrity, responsibility, stuff like that. If you don't have those things, you are fooling yourself. So let's take potential and just put it to the side there. So it's just right here on the side. We're gonna take promises and we're gonna put them over here, right? You know what's left? You know what's left right here? Reality. Yeah. Look at the reality of the situation. And the reality of the situation is that the reason why you keep going through the same cycle, the same exact cycle, all over you. I've been going through this particular cycle and I'm on the end cap of it, but I have learned the lesson, but I'm still going through the consequences of what I allowed. It's just like being in jail. It's like a person goes to jail, say they go to jail for a year. Now, this person could come to the light and realize that what they did to get in there in the first place, within 3 months, they're like, yes, I see where I went wrong. I see the patterns that I went through. That doesn't guarantee early release. Now, you may get out in 8 months? 9 months? Instead of being in there a whole 12 months? But there still has to be time spent paying for what was done. And as a woman of faith, I believe that there are a lot of really harsh consequences that a lot of us could be suffering that we aren't. But because of God's grace, there are some things that we're not having to experience. Even after you learn the lesson, even after you realize what that cycle is, you may still have to endure some of the consequences of your inaction. Because there are people that have consequences for their actions, and there are people that have consequences for their inaction. And my entire life has been riddled with indecision and inaction. Either because I was truly powerless in the situation, like when I was a child and certain things happened to me, or taking that indecisiveness and taking that low self-worth into my adult life, not acting on certain things that I truly should have acted on. So I'm here to say, if you're still experiencing some consequences from some inactions that you have allowed to happen in your life, hold on. Know that, because I just felt like this the other day. I was like, God, I learned my lesson, Lord. Now I feel like you're punishing me. Now I feel like I'm being beat up, God. Okay. All right. I learned the lesson. clear. I see it. I know what I did wrong. I see it. I see it. I see it. And I feel like I'm being punished. And you know, when you feel like you're being punished by God, you get offended. And you're just like, I'm done. I don't want to deal with this anymore. But just like you accidentally cut yourself and you realize that you were cutting the vegetable too fast. That's how you cut yourself, because you were in a rush. You shouldn't be rushing when you have a sharp knife next to your flesh. You cut it and you say, oh, wow, I was going too fast. It doesn't heal immediately. It still takes time. You got to put Neosporin on it, and you got to put the Band-Aid on it. You got to wait a few days, and you have that weird thing that happens when you have a Band-Aid on your finger and you go to wash your hands and it gets all weird and you have to redo it. Yeah, but it will heal eventually. And then a couple weeks later, you won't even think about the fact that you'll be sitting there cutting the same type of vegetable. You may be like, oh, let me go a little bit slower because I just cut myself. But that initial pain is gone. But you still have the memory and you still have the lesson from doing what you did. So I did not intend for this video to be this long. I am appalled, I am offended, and I am triggered. Hopefully you made it to the end of the video. If you did, I really appreciate it. Is there anything else I need to say? I don't know. I'm tired. I'm out of breath. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go. All right. Love you guys.